session to record. And then just to know Mrs. Murty a little more better, first of all, Mrs. Seetha Murty is based in Hyderabad. She is the Director of Education at the 𝑫𝒊𝒓 group of schools. There are multiple schools there. And I have known her for good 5 years now, because I think my knowing her, the journey began just at the cusp of COVID. In fact, that is the time when I had the pleasure of meeting Mrs. Seetha Murty in Delhi. And then from there on, we have had her many times on IPN. And more than that, she's a very distinguished leader. I have had the chance of working with her on few things and getting to know her better. And it's been fabulous knowing this wonderful educator from our country. She is, again, passionate about few things, but at the same time, she is actively involved with the IB board, and she also heads the Association of IB World Schools in India. And again, apart from multiple hats which she wears, she's very actively involved in the school ecosystem of our country. And at every right juncture, she continues to add a lot of value. So, Mrs. Seetha Murty, welcome once again, and good to have you with us. And
thank you, Gaurav. Thank you very much.
So, if you want me to have a quick question, that is fine, but I would request that if you can possibly share your opening thoughts per se on the year gone by, and then we can take up this entire discussion in a Q&A format. Over to you. Yeah.
So, like always, like every year, you just don't realize that the year has gone by. And you're always wondering, when did this happen? We just celebrated the New Year's Day and we're already here. So good evening to all the educators on this panel. It's a pleasure for me to be again here with Gaurav and the IPN, because I've known him, like he said, for 5 years. And he's someone who does things with extensive focus on the topic that he has chosen. I know many other people who are wanting to work in the area of education, but Gaurav has a very different focus, which I greatly respect and appreciate also. To all my fellow educators, I'm sure like how I am feeling, you also must be thinking, when did the year start? Why is it ending so soon? And what are we going to do? And like typically we take New Year resolutions, and just a week ahead, we have to take resolutions now. And I'm sure in a year from now, we will be having the same conversation. When did the year go by? Okay. But in schools, we have two calendars. We have the calendar year, January to December. We have the school year, March to April, and things like that. So sometimes I find it very confusing. Am I celebrating a January to December calendar year? Or am I now going to reminisce about my March this year, when we started the current academic year, which we're going to conclude in March next year. Okay. So it's always nice to reflect, especially when people like Gaurav question you and ask you, what did you do? What did you achieve? What have you done? What were the challenges? What are you going to do next year? Okay. When people like this ask us questions, it makes us very reflective. And I think the best thing at all points of time is being a reflective leader. So those are my opening comments, Gaurav.
Fantastic. In fact, that's good, in fact, because this brings us to the point that wherein we'll make this very conversational so that everybody really gets benefited out of it.
Yeah.
And one of the questions yesterday, which really stemmed out of the discussion, I think we can begin with that as well, Mrs. Seetha Murty, which is whichever format it is either a calendar year or year. I mean, because these are very high stakes year in the life of every student, because at the end of the day, they will go in the standards of 10th or 11th or 12th only once in their lifetimes, for that matter. So these are very defining years, example. And I always say this, that we are not just building their futures, but at the end of the day, we are building, in turn, the country's future as well, because that's completely dependent on how well these individuals will shape their lives.
Yeah.
One of the things which emerged, at least to my understanding, when I was traveling across the country is that while there are a lot of transactional things which are, which is CBSE or any other board is trying to do, we all are fairly aware of that. We have our own set of struggles also, I believe, number one. But at a very strategic level, when we talk about teacher empowerment or when we say teacher training at the end of the day, I think what we somehow miss out is about teachers' well-being. Or I would say teachers, what I call it, are we doing enough for them? Sometimes, right? That is the question which comes up. And that's very close to my heart personally, because I feel if the teacher is, if their heart is at the right place, they can do wonders for that institution. So maybe if you can share with us how, because I know you're a very empathetic leader, I've known you, and that's the sort of an adjective I associate you with. How have you seen in your institution, at least, the entire well-being of your teachers taken care of? And the cycle can be not just this 1 year, but obviously some practices which you are doing. Please, if you can share some light on that. Yeah.
Sure thing, Gaurav. So for me, teachers, coincidentally, 25-26 academic year, our theme is well-being. First the teachers, then the students, because if the teacher's emotional health or physical health is not at an equilibrium, they can't possibly be doing their best in the classroom. So we focused a lot on that. As a practice, we have something called quiet time every day. Okay, it's we don't want to call it meditation, we don't want to call it mindfulness, just quiet time, especially after the school begins and assembly. Once we have the rituals of the national anthem and things like that, we have a quiet time. Why do we say that? Whether it's a teacher or a student, from the time they wake up and rush to the school and come, everything is a back-to-back pace. Okay. And immediately after that, if I expect my teacher to go into a class with a smile, I'm being very unfair and not at all being empathetic. So for us, quiet time is a very important ritual where everybody just sits down, calm. There are times I use some instrumental music, times I just say, no, we don't need any sounds at all. Let's just be with ourselves. Probably we need to hear our own breathing. And I do tell teachers that this is your time, because from some of them may wake up at 5 o'clock to, fend for things in the family and then get themselves ready and come to school and rush to the school bus and come there, because every part of it involves a certain amount of action and anxiety. Okay. So quiet time is a ritual where we feel it calms them down.
Notes down, correct.
One thing. The second thing, we have always factored into a timetable that they should have 2 to 3 periods free in a day to make sure that they have time to assimilate the work that they are doing or plan for the work that they are doing. It's important because many of them, many schools I know pack a teacher's timetable. But for me, if I can't give more than 2 periods in a day, I feel I'm being unfair to the teachers. Okay. So giving enough time for them to plan, to learn, to research, or even to evaluate children's work or give feedback or feed forward, these are important things. Then we have something called professional development programs throughout the year. I must tell you, we have something called parallel B.Ed college without a certification that we run. Every academic year, we have 160 hours of teacher training. But in this 160 hours of teacher training in an academic year, trust me, I spend more than 50 hours on their personal development. Because, it's so important to me that I have been a teacher. I started my career as a pre-primary teacher. Okay. Before I became a principal, I was managing a senior secondary section. I know the challenges one goes through. I know your emotional upheavals that you bring from home. So teachers' well-being is extremely important to me. There was a time, RIE Mysore, Regional Institute of Education Mysore, in 2013, they were inviting paper presentations from principals of schools. Okay. So at that time, I was deeply researching on Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Okay. So I converted the needs of teachers Okay, safety,
Okay.
security, love and belongingness, self-esteem needs. Only then they can come to the level of self-actualization. Okay. I gave a presentation and I still hold on to that very dearly because I keep asking my teachers, and I have a huge department. I mean, my colleagues in the school who are always talking to teachers that is there anything that is disturbing you? Is there
Mm.
anything that, so there are multiple ways that we look at for their well-being and
Mhm.
make sure that they come with a smile and go with a smile. An unhappy teacher is going to be a disaster in a classroom.
No,
Okay.
absolutely. In fact, I think one of the very specific figure, 160 hours, I believe
160 hours, yes.
that is something which I believe every leader will see that as an investment, actually, not
Yeah,
just as something which possibly is taking away the hours of their work example.
true, true.
And I'm assuming these are all 160 hours during the school hours or the functioning
Yeah,
hours only,
absolutely.
for that
All
matter.
during. So
Yes.
we begin in March, we have in
Mm,
April, then we have before children come in the month of June, and there
correct.
are some holidays that we designate. We inform them well in advance. So like this, we make a proper plan. This has been happening for 15 years now. It's not.
Fantastic. No, no, absolutely. So while the compliance number is 50 hours in the
Yeah,
CBSE or the by the NEP, that number is only 50 hours. But
yeah.
you said that 50 hours is only for their own personal development. That is the time you
Yes,
invest for them.
that's very
Yes,
important for me. Their emotional health, their
correct.
social health, then their physical health.
Yeah, yeah. Fantastic. Good, good. Because in fact, the word which I was really missing out, which I could not say, was in fact teacher welfare, not just the teacher well-being for that matter, that how we see that
Yeah,
as a overall part of the ecosystem when we put our plans together for a year, in fact. Okay, fair enough. Good. So that gets the ball rolling in terms of we now know exactly, and I think that's a great question to for you because you are the right person to answer that as well. Uh, while while teachers were taken care of, there are a lot of these external factors right now which are putting a lot of undue pressure in the schools, I personally feel.
yeah,
And right, one of the questions which again emerged, and I think you will be again give us a little direction on that, which is that schools are getting these what I call these unwanted attention through these instances wherein one of example, right, a student goes and does something untowards, which is not really called for, but nobody was really
yeah,
what
yeah.
I call it
I know.
in any kind of sort of a situation to handle it, and then suddenly the principal of the institution or the head institution is finding themselves in a very sticky spot.
Right.
How are the school or you or your school example navigating such times, or have you had such experiences in the past which made you smarter in terms of handling such situation examples?
This is something I would really like to talk about and open
Please,
up because,
please.
the media is always gunning
Mm.
for private schools. Private schools in India are so vulnerable. By the way, if any incident happens in a government school, media doesn't pay attention. But a private school is always looked at with a prejudiced eye, a jaundiced eye, that anything that's private in India is here to make money and be unfair. Okay, that's something that I always talk to my parent community. Just because we are charging you fee doesn't mean that you
Correct.
can look at us with a disrespectful eye.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
because nobody gave us land free, nobody gave us anything free. Everything has to be purchased. So, having said the stance that private schools are vulnerable because of a jaundiced eye, because of a
Mhm.
prejudiced eye that is there generally in the society, for parents and for the media also, by the way. Okay.
Correct. Mhm.
Uh, I remember some 8, 9 years ago in Hyderabad city, drugs were being, I mean, that was a talk of the town back then. The
Okay.
Hyderabad police had taken a lot of measures. Every school they had come and talked about it. Okay. Some school, one child was caught with these things, and the media published that a child from so and so school. Okay.
Mm.
I debated in every public portal as to why should you name the school? It's a parents, name the parents. Okay. It's so easy to say that, school did not give him drugs. Neither
Correct.
parents have given. Okay. But why do you have to name? It's like not like so and so school student is caught with drugs. say so-and-so parents' child also.
Absolutely,
The
absolutely.
thing is, don't even name the parents or the school. Don't even name the child, an 18-year-old or a 17-year-old. The ethics in media are, I think, dwindling down day by day. Okay. The best thing for any head of a school in any situation is to stay calm, no comments. Stay calm, absolutely no comments, because I have to tell you something really, really miserable and terrible happened in our school some 12 years back. Okay.
Okay.
Uh, my my student, a 12th grader, she went out with her boyfriend. Okay. On a Saturday morning, which was a holiday from her house, she went out and then she was missing for good about 48 hours. The whole city was searching for her. And she was found on the third day morning, dead. All right. Now you can see all kinds of things can come on the school, but the media here was very kind, very respectful to us. Not once did they say a student of so-and-so school was found dead. Because the police was also very particular that this incident has a very different connotation altogether. What happened in her private life cannot be reflected either on parents or on the school. Police were very, very cooperative there. What I would say in the current scenario where, a fourth grader or a sixth grader or a 10th grader is killing oneself in the school premises and suddenly the whole media and the world is jumping on them, I think the best way is to stay calm, no comments, because who thinks that such a thing will happen? Like, if I have to draw a parallel, when a child gets hurt in the school, the parent will come and ask 10 questions how, why, what. Okay. What I started doing was maintain a list every year of how many children get wounded at home and come to school. How many children in the school get hurt and get attention. If you see where a family has one or two children, the number of children getting hurt is more. In a campus like ours, where we have 3,300 children, the number of children getting hurt is less. Okay. So I use this data, always have data in your hands. I use this data to tell the parents that don't try to jump on us for everything. Accidents can happen, children can get hurt, but this is the data I have. How many children get hurt at home, where only two children are there? How many children get hurt in a school where 3,000 plus children are there?
Absolutely.
So accidents are not to point out at somebody, to understand and find a way to facilitate the situation instead of blaming or playing a blame game over here.
What which I'm understanding from your side is that keeping a calm demeanor, or I would say not being reactive in that situation, is imperative. It's like expected out of you as a school head, for that matter,
Yeah.
number one. At the same time, today, media has taken a very different definition because it's now become social media, not just the media for that matter, because before even the media writes about it, it is on the social media for that
Yeah.
matter, right? So that dimension is very, very difficult now for any school to really monitor it or manage it, number
Yeah.
one. Why we are putting this question? Because I think what emerged during our last few conversations was that school is being seen as a soft target, and eventually every blame can go to them, and then suddenly, because IPN is for the principal of the school of India for that matter, the principal is the one who is bearing the brunt for that matter, right?
Right.
Even the school owners are not the one who will take that blame. It's the poor, what I call the poor head, who is the
True.
nominal head, is taking care of that. So you have had those instances. This is the way you have handled it. That is what have come out of our discussion so far. But one more thing which I was wanting to add last time also, do you feel that today schools need to invest in having a very robust legal understanding of the matters as well, right?
Absolutely.
Because having that paraphernalia at a
Mm.
reactive level will not really serve you any purpose. You should really be preempting this. This can happen. This may happen for that matter.
Yes.
Hence, I think legally schools needs to be far more well invested. How is
Absolutely.
your institution doing that? Is
Yeah,
it?
so we have two lawyers on board with
Mm,
us.
mm,
Okay. One who specializes in POXO, because that's
mm,
one big thing that's
correct.
overblown also at the same time. The second thing is a criminal lawyer
Correct.
who has an understanding of what kind of things can go wrong and what is the first step you need to take when something.
Exactly.
Okay, so we have two lawyers on board with
Mm.
us. But we have also taken membership in the National Council, which just started in Delhi for safety of schools. Okay,
Mm.
because you have an array of experts over there. Because just when you know that you got all the answers, the questions change. When you feel you're fully prepared with everything, a new incident happens, and then
I know.
you're searching. So it's always nice to have a legal advisor for every school in India because
Correct.
things are getting worse day by day.
Yeah. So I think leaders who are listening to this, one of the things which have really emerged during our previous conversation and today's one is that you have to have a very sound legal structure, as in, or legal support system in your respective institutions, because I feel this will definitely happen sooner than later, and then you should not be found wanted. That is the way we see it right now. Yep.
Even in terms of recruitment, Gaurav, you need to have a proper legal procedure because
Correct.
at times when people obviously want to move to other schools for better salaries or packages, but while compromising on professional ethics, it's important that in your recruitment also you have a legal structure in place.
No, absolutely, 100%, without a doubt, because uh, that is also something which is alarming right now these days, which we are seeing across the country, where
Yeah. Because
just
it's
for
only
the
in India, I'm telling you, teacher recruitment is the most disorganized structure. Only in India. No other country has this kind of disorganized structure. And appointments or dismissals are like, there's just no process to it. They're
there's no
whimsical.
process to it. It's
Yeah,
very
it's
ad
very
hoc. It's very
whimsical.
ad
Yeah,
hoc. It's very, very, I
exactly.
would say, transactional in nature. That's the way I've also observed. Right. Good. Good. We are answering some very substantive questions, which is adding great value to this panel of people here, which is joining us. So, a couple of quick questions, and then I'll open the house for Q&A. I think this was one of my questions as well. Any specific challenge you as a leader had to encounter this year, which you felt is a common challenge, maybe which may can occur anywhere in our country, and if you can share that experience with all of us, maybe people will be in good stead to handle that. Yeah.
So, more than a challenge, it's an observation that I have seen because of climate change.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In Delhi, you have the smog and you have to shut down schools at the shortest of the notice. Okay. In probably the northern part, at the shortest of the notice, fog or something else will determine that you have to shut down schools tomorrow. For climate change in Hyderabad, you won't believe it, at least 10 to 12 days or maybe 15 days,
Mm-hmm.
July to August to September.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now this year it moved to October that we have to shut down schools because of rains,
I know. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
rains and
Mm-hmm.
waterlogging,
Correct.
traffic jams. At the drop of a hat, the local government will say, shut down schools.
Mm.
Okay. Indefinitely, 2 days and 3 days. And when you follow them, you will see the second day or the third day, the sun is shining bright. Okay. Because of climate change, the challenge that I'm seeing this is that increasingly we have unpredictable routines.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the solution that we found is thanks to COVID or no thanks to COVID,
Mm.
our online platforms continue. So we every year now, since then till now, in the beginning of the academic year, all my new recruits are trained into running these online platforms. And we
Mm.
tell them at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we may come to know that tomorrow is a holiday, or 5 o'clock in the morning, you may come to know. So be ready to always operate the platform and run the classes at least for 4 5 hours so that learning journey does not get a pause at all. Okay. That's
Mm.
one challenge. Wherever I've gone, I've seen people complaining about unforeseen, unpredictable holidays because of climate change.
Climate change. Correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And of course, the other challenge is AI. AI. Okay. Why do I say it's a challenge? Okay. More than AI taking over things, We are obsessed about AI. All of us are over talking, hyper talking about AI without actually looking at what do I want AI to do in my school? What is my need? Which area do I want to accelerate more? Which area do I want to make it more effective? Is it in academics? Is it in the administration? Is it at a classroom level? These kind of reflective actions are not being taken. Everybody is thinking FOMO, there's a fear of missing out. That school is doing, this school is doing, this conference is talking, that speaker is addressing it. So I need to bring in AI. What we have done is we have taken a pause first. We started looking at how will it emphasize or accelerate learning. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We tried with a 10th grade batch when they wrote their pre-board in the month of November, first
Mm-hmm.
pre they had written. We told them the teachers are not going to correct. Okay. All the answers that you have written, sit in the computer lab now, export the answers onto ChatGPT, Copilot, whatever other engines you want to use. Compare what is the feedback being given to you by the AI. Okay. For me, that had been the most meaningful engagement for children. You know why? They don't answer. They have already written one answer. Now they've got 5 different answers from different engines of AI. And they're looking at what is this answer saying and what is this answer saying. For me, that had been the most meaningful engagement for deep dive. Okay.
Absolutely.
The other thing we did was we asked them, justify why you think your answer is right. Okay. So while AI is being allowed, being used in the classroom, we're also making sure that human intelligence doesn't take a backseat at all. Okay. So the teachers didn't have to correct at all, either the first pre-board or the second pre-board. The students got a direct feedback. And the students told the teachers that I should have written like this, I should have written like that, or, whatever corrections that they were to do. So while it is a challenge, okay, it is something that can be moderated and monitored very ethically and logically. So challenges will always be there. And by the way, without challenges, it's so boring. It's such a so you need to have challenges in life. Otherwise, a principal will just go every day, make a, visit across the campus, come back and sit. No, when you have challenges, you know what else you can do. What are the things you can fix? So I think for me, the observation about the climatic change and their impact, AI, how I'm moderately using them, not getting obsessed about having all of it in the school. Just because there are 100 edtech providers who want to bring AI into my school, I don't take it. I am very, very frugal where bringing external providers are concerned. I'm very, very stingy.
Absolutely. I
Yeah,
think you've given a fantastic used case of it right now. I
yeah,
think that's what a good takeaway from your answer is, that how AI can be used in the way you have used it beautifully. I think that's the larger point, because at this point in time, being on the fence about AI is a great place to be in.
yeah,
You have to be on the fence right now because there's so much changing in AI right now, and
yeah.
especially when you look AI from the lens of education, is
Yes.
a very rare used right cases basically. So there's very, very prudent, if I may say, if you're on the fence right now. That's my one liner on it. I since you said FOMO, so there's a guy who played Robert Oppenheimer in the movie Oppenheimer, called Cillian Murphy, basically, who played that role, the Irishman. He actually said that I am not worried about FOMO. I'm actually now in the ROMO mode.
Yeah.
It's called the ROMO, relief of missing out.
Exactly.
I'm
I live in that. I still don't have a smartwatch
correct,
because
correct.
I want my mind and my body to know how many steps I have taken, whether I had a good
Precisely.
sleep or not, not my smartwatch. So I'm in that mode of Romo.
Good. Because just on the AI bit also, if you can share with us, administratively, are you seeing the utility of it as an administrator of an institution?
Yeah, see, we do have every school will have a platform these days for their administrative processes, either for the school transport or for the library or for the fee collection and things like
That's
that.
ERP. So we'll
Yeah,
keep that
all
aside,
the
basically. No,
ERP.
no. Have you
But
brought in anything with the AI thing specifically?
so what
And
we
quite
was
frankly, it can be a no answer as well. No problem either way.
no data collection. For
Hmm.
us, data collection had been very, very useful
Okay.
because the same student from grade 1 to 10, what has been the improvement from then till now? Okay.
Hmm.
We just had to export the data that we already
Yes.
had, and
Correct.
AI gave us which year he was not too strong and which year he was very
Correct.
strong. So the data that gave us was very useful to the parents and the students and the teachers.
Yeah, exactly. The data
Uh,
analysis part is very easy.
yeah, in the current day, like I said earlier, if you have data, nobody can contest.
Correct.
Okay. And you can also take accurate action. You know
Based
exactly.
on data. Yes, absolutely.
All
100%.
right.
Hmm.
If I have to tell you another example of how we are using AI,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
earlier, like we are a very student-centric school. Being an IB school, we are very student-centric. We need to have multiple activities where students are involved in exploring, inquiring, and learning. Okay.
Hmm.
So all of us used to put our heads together. What is a new activity? What do we do? How do we do? AI is giving us a list of activities now, 15 to 20 for any one particular lesson.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
Now, what we are doing is we are screening all the 15 activities. Which of them is exactly suiting our requirement? Not
Hmm.
only screening, we are probably adding a few things here or blending two of them together. So time is saved, new ideas are coming.
Correct.
Okay.
Hmm.
No teacher needs to feel bad that, otherwise they may have taken help from the AI. But I'm making it open saying, let's all use AI. Let's get 100 ideas from there and let's read the ideas. Okay.
Absolutely.
So they are feeling very empowered and enabled that they don't have to always rely on what ideas they can inherently get, that they can get the ideas and build upon it. So I'm making it open. Like even parents were surprised when I said, let your son compare his answers on ChatGPT and Copilot and come back and tell me. First, the parent said, what is this? Why can't the teachers correct? I said, try to understand what I'm telling you. This is a learning engagement. Instead of the teacher correcting and giving a feedback, the student reflecting on his own answers and comparing
Is
is
very important.
forward.
Hmm.
It's not a feedback, it's
Absolutely.
a feed
Hmm.
forward. So
Hmm.
there is a proactive way of doing things. There's a reactive way of doing things.
Hmm.
I think what we have done is largely proactive way.
Interesting. No, that's good. That's what I wanted. That because a lot of schools are right now struggling with the very question: where do I use this? While
Yeah.
I know about this, I have no use cases for me. Example. In fact, one of the school whose speaker or the founder were with us day before yesterday. In fact, that's the Gurukul school in Ghaziabad. They have made some very, very good used cases of AI in their respective institutions right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more to do with creating new stuff with AI rather than
Okay.
just being a user of the AI for that matter. Because I think that's the real race we eventually will go into, example, as a nation.
Okay.
Which your kids will do. In fact, it's actually to not to do with the teachers. I mean, there will be some progressive teachers who will be proactive with technology, but the real deal is when you put this into the classroom and say, guys, I want something ingenuous. You create it
Yeah.
using this. Come back to me. I will look forward to that. Basically, that's the kind of challenge we'll have to give it to them. Basically.
True.
One final question from my side, and then we'll put it out to our leaders, which is a piece of suggestion or piece of advice, because it's a closure of a new year. A lot of us will do this. At least at IPN, what we do is the top 10 priorities, which will come the next month, basically, which we will invite you for as well. But what are the key lessons educators, teachers can really gain from this year gone by, which you would like to recommend that? Yeah.
Work more on student leadership. Make students into leaders and influencers for their juniors. Okay. I call some of my students as skillfluencers because there are certain skills that they have, and I want them to influence their juniors into developing them. So this year, I've tried a complete democratic model of student leadership, wherein I told them these are the challenges and the problems that I have with students. please develop a code, a discipline code kind of thing. Okay. Even for the school transport, what are the challenges I have within the classroom, adolescent, teenagers, preteens, younger ones in the primary school. I made a bunch of 100, 150 students from grade 8 to 12. I made them sit and told them these are my problems. Okay, these are my challenges. Now tell me, how will you develop a code? Developing rules it's very easy for anybody.
Absolutely.
But how will you ensure that everybody in the school knows about it? How will you make sure that you're monitoring and mentoring them into following this code? You won't believe 45 days of summer from April to June, they worked on it. They developed a school code. They gave names to it. What are the do's and don'ts in school bus, do's and don'ts in the school area? And they continue to monitor the whole year, they continue to monitor it. None of us had to call them, hey, you forgot about your duty. What is this happening here? No. They themselves worked on it. This year had been the most calming year for me because I didn't have to work on any issue at all. Even the school bus or a misbehavior somewhere. By the way, they also developed a social media code. Like
Okay.
even if you're on social media, what you can post, what you cannot post, what names you can have, what names you cannot have, everything came from them, and they're
Oh,
monitoring it. So
fantastic.
I think giving the responsibility to them makes them feel so, I mean, the ownership. They build a
Empower.
yeah,
Absolutely. Yes. That's the
so much
word.
of
Yes.
agency is there in that. I en I used to do a lot of these things earlier, but not at such an extent like how I did this year. It worked wonders. Okay. So they're also going to their junior classes to make sure that the school code or the school philosophy is driven in storytelling or in multiple ways they're trying. So student leadership is something that uh, they I wanted all my students to be thinkers. So I said this year thinkers is a so they developed a lot of exercises around thinking and they called themselves as skillfluencers, went to different classes, critical thinking activities they have given, challenges they have given. So please try and groom young leaders like that. I'm sure this 150 plus another 150 who supported them will turn out to be good leaders in future. So that's all I would say. Student
Absolutely.
leadership.
fact, in fact, as we are speaking, I'm thinking of how to put my daughters into this, basically, which is how do I give them something to do with leadership, if I may say, because I think we have somehow not utilized this skill set which they already have, or we have to give them that sort of a faith that we trust you guys, go ahead and do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I had the question: is it at the 150 is at the core level, as in the top classes only, and
Yes.
they are percolating it down to the
So
junior
we
level?
selected some of them from grade 8 to 12
Correct. Hmm.
based on various observations or
Hmm,
their
hmm, hmm, hmm.
behaviors and things like that. And you should see there were 100 more who were saying, ma'am, we want to be in the core committee. Okay. So in multiple ways, I've given a lot of agency to them, saying that I don't want these challenges this year.
Hmm.
Even
Okay.
if I have any challenges with anybody,
Hmm.
people will sort it out.
Basically, you took the problem statement to them and you said, I don't
Yes.
want this to be resolved. As simple as that. Okay, fantastic. Great. That is a great idea, I would say. Yeah, worth implementing, in fact.
Yeah.
Good. Perfect. And I think pretty much my bit is done, and we will open up the house now for Q&A. Please, dear leaders, your questions or your observation, give us a virtual show of hand. We'll help you unmute, and then we can have that going with you. Go ahead. And my only request is, just for the benefit of everyone, give us a brief introduction of yours as to where are you based in our country and your name and which institution are you part of. Okay, that's the way we do it. Okay, we have 100 of you. We should have at least 10 questions, which is 10% of it. Right? Because 101, now it is 100. Yeah. Chaliye. Any question or it's already Saturday evening, by the way. I know that. Good. Miss, oh, sorry, 𝑫𝒓 𝑺𝒆𝒆𝒕𝒉𝒂, then we'll come to Miss 𝑗aswant Sikka. Go ahead.
Good evening, ma'am. My name is 𝑫𝒓 I work at a CBSE school from Warangal, Telangana, ma'am.
Okay.
So I have been like, I was pretty much influenced by your problem solving matter, taking the classroom children and lot of things of AI implementation and all. Because first of all, I just wanted to have few things like into my mind, something came into my mind, so I just wanted to ask, as everyone over here is into the leadership team, might be having even as the edupreneurs as well. So ma'am, like, is it mandatory that how to, you told that for the teachers well-being and the welfare, ma'am, and as Gaurav sir has told and even the CBSE has told, ma'am, that 50 hours of training is compulsory. Okay, ma'am. But at the same time, as far as the teachers recruitment and the salary structure is concerned, it is not uniform all across over the India, ma'am.
Yeah.
So as ma'am, you means as the leadership team, ma'am, is there any provision like whether the leadership team talking to the CBSE and planning something to have a uniformity like for the government institutions like that?
No, unfortunately, like I said, it's a disorganized sector. Uh,
Yes, ma'am.
it cannot be done, neither government nor CBSE. Nobody can do anything about it. Only thing is the ethics of the school management.
True,
That
true,
can do
true, ma'am.
something because there's something called a pay commission. The
Yes,
government
ma'am.
prescribes such certain pay commission for certain PRT, TGT, PGT, and things like that.
Okay,
So,
ma'am.
for a school that wants to be ethically right, they have to do it.
And ma'am, for the at present, ma'am, when we were students like 25 years down the line or 30 years down the line, as per our age matters. So that time, even though everything was, I used to remember that there was a specific education, means moral value education, moral science was there.
Yeah.
Rather, I think that is only being renamed as well-beings and all these value education based sort of things right now, ma'am. If I'm not mistaken.
Maybe at some point they may come together, but they're two
Okay.
different things. Okay.
Okay.
Morals and ethics are about how you behave, how you conduct yourself, what are your values.
Okay.
Well-being is about how well you're looked after by the school. How is
Okay.
the school supporting you to be
Okay,
a
ma'am.
good teacher and an effective teacher? So these
Okay,
are
ma'am.
two different things.
Ma'am, like as the social media influence and there is a lot of influence of AI in our day-to-day life,
Yeah.
even though we are in educational sector, but there is a huge influence of particularly the social media and the play. If I talk about we were the generation where we have seen the video recorders and then we came from the
Yeah.
floppy disk and then CD, DVD, and now not even the pen drives. Even the mobile phones are coming with 1 TB of
Right.
storage within that. So when there is lot of transformation of technology is happening, ma'am, so how do we handle with the children with very less span of attention within a 40 minutes of class? And moreover, as you told, ma'am, and these days parents thinks that no, we are paying money, everything has to be done by the school and the school
Yeah.
team only.
Yeah, I know. I can hear from your voice. By the way, whatever you said are the concerns of people from across the Indian continent, subcontinent. Okay. However, what I'd like to say is one point about student engagement and their attention. Okay. You have to constantly reinvent yourself. There's no way you can engage a student fruitfully until you have created a robust learning environment. That's one part. Okay. Second part is social media, internet, technology. There'll be million things like this. You need to know as a school principal or as a teacher, whatever your role is, how much is okay, how much is not okay. Okay. You be that moderator. I don't need, like, I told you, I still don't use a smartwatch. I still don't feel that I need a water bottle that reminds me when to drink water. My body should remind me when I'm thirsty. So you need to take that call of being a moderator of how much technology is required for effective learning. Just because everybody is talking about it, you don't have to bring. By the way, we have schools in Hyderabad and Visakhapatnam. If you come and see, our technology is only to aid the learning and teaching, but it is not because technology is available. Let's buy everything and keep it in the school. No. So you have to play that role of moderator there.
Jaswantji, your question. Go ahead, please.
Hanji, good evening, everyone. Ma'am, today's session was very, very informative. Many takeaways from today's session. I have two queries. Number one, you use the term quiet time for the teachers.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I just wanted to know whether it happens before the students come or when the school gets over or during school hours.
When we start the school day assembly, we have a ritual of assembly, like we sing Vande Mataram in the morning, the national song. Okay. Then we have a school prayer, which is non-religious prayer. And then we have any important announcements. After that, we have a quiet time. And we announce it's quiet time now. We either play an instrumental soft music or absolutely quiet time. And we tell everybody, just sit quietly. This is for you to calm down. You started the day in a rush. Now that you have to start your learning, calm down. So essential purpose is calming down.
Okay. And second is that you said that you use AI for the paper evaluation.
Yeah.
Do you allow your children to bring tabs in classroom or they go to the computer lab?
They don't bring personal devices to the school. We have the computer lab. We also have tabs. Like this time, we had to use both the tabs and the computer labs, all the 3 labs that we have. We had to use it because 250 10th graders had to go and do their own evaluation, self-evaluation.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so very much. Thank you.
Perfect. So just a quick one. How long is this quiet time? Since I was just curious about it.
Definitely 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
5 minutes, definitely.
Yeah. No, because nobody asked that question because that's
sometimes it moves into 7-8 minutes also.
Got it. It's like a power nap. Okay.
Yeah, with the primary school children, I ask them question. When I don't play music, I ask them, what did you hear? Some they don't know, so I tune them, try to hear the sound of the wind or the swaying of the trees and
it's very effective. I must say that. Absolutely.
And they say that, we hear it. Now we can hear the sound of the wind and things like that. Yeah.
Absolutely. I know. It's a very powerful thing. It's just that schools will get, now I think people will implement this. I think Jaswant ma'am is a very proactive leader, and Dapti ji is also here. I'm sure
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Shailendra Kumari ji, your question. Please, go ahead.
Thank you so much, sir. Good evening, one and all. I'm Shailendra. I do not know what do I say. Actually, I've taken a break from my career. I was serving as a principal, and recently I'm on a break pursuing my legal education from Punjab University, Chandigarh. Because why I wanted to speak up in this forum, because last time also when I attended the session, Gaurav sir, I'm so thankful to you. Earlier, I was having so many questions in my mind. In fact, if you remember, I interacted with you also. I was looking for the answers. And last meeting, when ma'am, she has raised up, Indu ma'am, she has raised up certain queries in the sense she has faced that tough phase. And today, ma'am has also expressed. And then I got many of the answers to my questions. And I'm so thankful to this forum, and especially to you and Seetha ma'am.
Thank
to you as well. And I also appreciate the way you said, and especially the name you have given. You said you have not used the name meditation. You have not used any other name also. And in fact, this name itself is very, soothing, calming. Yeah. It's very, very right. I mean, the tone with which we are setting up the school, we are commencing the school is powerful. Yeah. And the way you have shared your vision about the student leadership, that how we can cultivate leadership into the students. Ma'am, I also wanted to ask you, because as I'm a full-time student these days, so what I'm finding, I'm having a lot of, because being principal and now being a full-time student, I'm having too many observations of my young friends these days at the university. So what I'm finding is, of course, discipline. We talk a lot about discipline. Are we having something in the name of self-discipline? Because whatever discipline we are having is teacher-imposed, school-imposed discipline. And whenever we are leaving the children, free without having any elder around, so there we can see the actual demonstration, whether they're really following, we are really cultivating the self-discipline or not. So are we having certain practices being followed?
Yeah. So in our school, for 24 years now, we are completing 24 years. Okay, we say character first, competence next. I'm okay, you don't do math, you don't do science, I'm okay. But I'm not okay if you're dishonest. I'm not okay if you're not principled. Okay? I'll give you an example of homework. Many years ago, I came up with this because of a student of grade 5. She complained at home saying that, oh, the homework is so much that I can't do, I'm not able to cope up with this pressure. I want to jump down from the third floor. She's a big drama queen, she was. Okay. So she came with her mother. When I heard this, I only thought, let me address it very softly. I told her, I'm so sorry that we made you feel like this about the homework. From today, we exempt you from homework. You don't have to do any homework. Now, this girl didn't know whether I'm punishing her or chiding her, admonishing her. She doesn't know. But I had a very neutral tone. Okay. Our tonality is very important when we are talking to children, by the way. I told the teacher that please exempt this little girl from homework because she's feeling pressurized. She begged for homework to be corrected after 1 month because I told the teacher, don't take her homework. Don't check anything. Okay. She begged for it. So now from there, I developed something called homework policy. I told all the teachers, only if the students submit the homework book on the table, correct it. You don't ask for it. Because homework is my work, I have to do. It's my responsibility. Just like your father will work, your mother will work, a doctor works, a police work. At this stage, you're a student, this is your work. You need to do this. And if you don't want to do it, then we don't want to ask you about it. From there, so many ways we are trying to develop an inner discipline. And anytime children come with a complaint, I don't give a solution. I tell them, what do you think is the right thing to do? What do you think you should be doing at this point of time? Because they all know the right thing. It's just that temptation of doing the wrong thing. Okay. So we are always working with children on, you reflect and tell us what do you think is the right thing to do. There are times during term exams also where children came back and said, ma'am, I'm so sorry. I don't know. I was disturbed, anxious. I didn't do my exam well. I said, okay, I'll give you another chance. Do it. Because exam is not such a big thing as the confidence of a child. I can't do it in a board exam, but I can do it in an in-school exam. Giving another chance to a student. Now NEP 2020 is talking about it and CBS is talking. I started doing 15 years back. I said, my students' confidence is more important than my process in the school. So character building is so much important and so very significant that you don't have to worry about discipline brought in by the school. Discipline should come from within. I will do the right thing even if nobody's watching. Okay.
Beautiful, ma'am. Thank you so much. In fact, I wanted to share one of my learning because today itself I was having my exam on criminology, and after appearing this examination, I'm attending this session. So there also, we are having JJ Act, POCSO, POSH, so many other things also. So, and where what I'm finding the usefulness is relation to the school, how we can integrate such kind of program into a school. Of course, I think every leader should know what all these legal compliances are, because if we really wanted to safeguard our school, our institution, and we really wanted to be empowered individuals, because nowadays we never know when the problem will be knocking at our door, so we should be prepared beforehand. So there one beautiful thing which I had learned today, when for preparing, of course, for this examination, that why all these things are happening, because there is no, when we say that we are having a good connect with the parent, but somewhere that connect is missing. So strong association or connection between the parent, school, and the teachers is very, very essential if we really wanted to cut down all those, we wanted to nail down all those problems.
Yeah.
Thank you. This is my just small sharing what I've taken. And thank you so much, ma'am. You really shared a beautiful example of self-reflection.
If I may add one thing to you, to what you're doing right now, please bring in, while talking about POCSO, we need to keep Indian culture in our mind. That Mamaji, that Bubaji, that Taoji, whoever comes home is typically hugging a child because that's what an Indian family system is. Okay. But now even the Taoji and Dadaji are hesitating because the children may misunderstand because of over-education about POCSO. Okay. So parents also have to be sensitized. Children also have to be sensitized that we are in a different culture where we are very physical people, by the way. We're very physical. We hug and, we kiss children even now. But because of POXO, everybody's scared. So some cultural sensitization has to be done before parents or children overreact about even a patting on the shoulder. Okay, so I just thought I should tell you that.
Well said. But ma'am, one thing more I wanted to add on here is the intent is very, very important. Hugging, kissing, that is not important. I mean, of course, people are scared of doing that also, but it's not the matter of getting scared. What is your intention? So intention matters the most. So that's they are also emphasizing, and we also need to. And of course,
Yeah,
this culture which we were having as a strength, I think that is eroding. That's the reason
loading.
all these things are coming into picture. So
Yeah,
what we need to do is strengthen. I mean, as you said, character is very, very important. So if that moral integration is there, value system integration is there,
yeah,
at all the levels, definitely these all acts are not required.
true, very true. Yeah,
Thank you so
Perfect.
much.
Good.
thank you.
J.K. Agarwal ji, your question.
Sir, thank you so much for wonderful webinar conducted here. And so many burning questions have been raised and answered as well. Madam, in between, I just wanted to add on, rather putting a question here,
Sure.
that telling them about this good touch, bad touch, I have come across certain cases in my school as a principal that children are small, young, very little children, they are becoming even more mature than
I
their
know.
time
Yeah,
because we are educating them such things.
yeah,
And very, very, very rightly, it has been said by you that it's a culture hugging children. They come to my office when they have their birthdays with their toffees and something, and I want to put my hand on their head, blessing them. Sometimes even I hesitate being a male principal to
true.
my girl children.
I know. Because,
So it has to be given a thought actually,
so
since it is a very
you need to talk to
intellectually
children
rich. Yeah, yeah.
in the assembly. You need to address the parents also about it.
Mm.
That's
I,
the thin line between the culture and intent, like how she said, these
mm.
need to be very, very emphatically explained to children.
By and by, it has become a culture that things are. But recently, maybe say when the session began only, there was one couple, new parent, and they started sending their child. And this came as a case. They came like, I mean,
I know.
super
I
angry to
can
me.
imagine that, yeah.
And they were telling me a case that happened in the class. If
Hmm.
there is one particular child, he is doing this and that. I was like, आपकी बच्ची को ये पता कैसे है? मुझे तो ये बताओ. How does this young girl, such a little child, knows? Then the parent agreed to this. So sometimes we are overdoing also.
We are, not sometimes we are.
जैसे
Uh,
किसी पेड़ पौधे छोटे से पौधे को जितना पानी देना है उतना दिया जाए.
yeah,
ओवर पेरेंटिंग भी दिक्कत करती है.
yeah, true. I agree with you on that.
इसका क्या इलाज करें ना? हाउ टू सॉल्व दिस प्रॉब्लम?
Sensitization. Keep talking.
Sensitizing.
Keep
Yes.
talking to parents. Keep talking to children
Mm-hmm.
about it, teachers, because
Mm-hmm.
you know the tiger is out there. So
Mm-hmm.
keep addressing the tiger all the time.
Exactly.
Very important.
That's the only solution,
Yeah.
right? Communication.
Yeah. At times, over communication is better than under communication.
Under communication.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr.
Perfect.
Gaurav.
Dhanyavad. Dhanyavad. Any other question? Otherwise, we'll call it a day and thank Mrs. Murty. I know we've taken up a lot of questions, but we have 3 more minutes. We have time for one question or couple of questions at the best. Because I think, Roshan. Please, I think it is, if this is Miss Roshan by any chance, then.
Yeah. Hello. Am I
Yeah.
on mute? Yeah. Can
Yes,
you hear
yes.
me?
Please go
Yeah.
ahead.
Sorry for
Yes.
joining in late, but I am glad I could join in. Lovely, lovely. It must have been a lovely video recording or the transcription. Am I audible, sir? I
Yes.
think.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. If you could throw some light on teenagers, reprimand. What should be the reprimand for breaking the rules? I must have missed it. You must have said it. But
Yeah.
in these times, it's very,
I
very
like the focus of this question. Reprimand, exactly. We want just the reprimand part of it, nothing else, which is
It
good.
can't be a general advice, right? Because
Yes.
teenage rules, reprimand depends on the context. Every
Okay.
context has its own requirement based on that. Like I'll give you an example. 4 of my brightest students, 12th graders, they were organizing the TEDx, okay? And they were doing a fantastic and a brilliant job. During their organizing the event in their WhatsApp group, when they would get angry, they used to use foul language in their chats with amongst themselves. One of them was very upset about it and reported it to the teacher, saying that the other 3 are using very foul language on some teachers who are saying no to whatever they're asking for. Okay. So I called all of them and I showed this chat and I said, tell me, what do I make of it? Because I know you all very well. I've seen them from their grade 1 and they're in 12th grade now. They're taller than me. Okay. So you know what they said? One of them very honestly, ma'am, that's not me. But when I get angry, this is how I use. So I said, it's the language of your anger. Okay. If you think you're justifying yourself, that you're entitled to use a foul language when you're angry, use it on yourself. But when you use it on somebody, you have no right to disrespect somebody else. Okay. So I had a conversation with them instead of reprimanding them because they were very apologetic. Otherwise, their record is excellent, good credentials. But they're even justifying that our language of anger is this. I said, I may appreciate it if it is focused on you, but it is focused on a teacher and I don't appreciate it. They say, ma'am, we love the teacher. Then why did you use a foul language? Okay. Language of anger. So, but then I made them sit with me, lot of conversation, reflection, because I don't have a rule where what will I do when a student behaves like this? Context to context, you will have to use your own wisdom, your own judgment about any situation.
Right. Absolutely right. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Seetha. Thank you very much. Can't thank you enough. But yes, everyone, I think, completely enjoyed the session. There's a lot of comments which are coming through. I know it's a Saturday evening already, but on behalf of everybody here, I can definitely say we had a great time. We had a great 1 hour. And I'm sure there's a lot of practical takeaways which all our leaders will go back, and I'm sure a few of them will implement it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you,
I hope
Gaurav,
to
and
see you
thanks
soon.
everybody.
And everyone who joined us, we hope to see you on 29th, which will be our final session. And take care of yourself. Good evening. Bye-bye.
Good evening. Happy New Year to everybody. Bye-bye.